You don't have to smile.
Yeah, there's just the pressure, man. I can't handle the pressure of being a YouTube celebrity anymore. Oh god, if I ever turn like that, please slap me in the balls.
I think I will. I don't worry.
Oh, good. Well, that's a good intro. Right. Who's in the intro? You or me?
I don't mind. I don't mind. I think you maybe to keep that consistency.
Okay. Oh, well, are we doing a consistent podcast? Because that's the least of our worries at this point.
The fact that we're on week
Like the
two.
fact that we've managed to do it twice in a row is
Yeah,
is,
that's
is
what I mean.
spectacular. It's alright.
Did you not see my little comments on the descriptions on the videos? Oh my
No.
week one.
Like, oh shit, we hit 5 videos, guys.
No. Look, if I just jump on, say that one for example, just mute that. Really? 5 episodes on the trot? Can I keep this up?
Oh yeah. The answer is no.
Number 4. What's this? Oh my OMFG! It's a 4th episode. Can I keep this up?
I love it.
I think I did it on the 3rd one. That's the 3rd episode. Let's see if I can keep this up.
Yeah, it's because I'm trying to. We got to episode I think 45, but only aired 30.
Yeah.
So
let's see if I can actually finish one.
It'll be impressive if we finished a game. Besides LA Noir, let's finish a game and leave it on the channel. Anyway, right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the LTS Show. Oh, that's so cheesy.
Oh my god. No, carry on. Ignore. Just keep going.
Okay, right. So, hello everybody. This is the LTS Show. Of course, you have me, Moonlighter, and with me today is the ever so lovely, ever so wonderful,
and ever so beautiful. I have to continue that one.
Yeah, you have to every time. It's Ki Kumo.
Yeah.
So we've managed to do a second episode. We found the time somewhere in our busy life and schedules that prevent us from doing anything else. We have found the time to do an extra episode.
We just, I don't know what we do.
Yeah, we just sit in our rooms, just crying all day. Well, that's what I do anyway.
No.
Yeah, so yeah, this is the second episode. We're still testing stuff. I personally hated how loud I was in the last episode, so hopefully I'm a bit quieter in this one.
I also hated how quiet I was in the last one. It was an extreme conflict.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't been bothered to try and work out why, or to get it so it records 2 individual audio tracks, one for me, one for Alex. But I'll worry about that maybe in if we do episode 3, maybe.
Yeah, if we get to more than 5 episodes, we'll start off trying to fix the problems.
Yeah, we'll actually try and do a proper setup rather than just our quick. See what happens, see if it works.
Yeah, again, just quick slam on the webcams, get the mics out. We are using Discord to record this all as well, which is probably the funniest bit. Yeah. So it's all good fun. But yeah, so is there anything new with you this week, Patrick Ki Kumo?
Not really. Other than just trying to get through work, trying to get to the end of the week. No, I don't think I've done anything productive.
Well, I have news. I have fantastic news. So I ordered and got an Elgato, so I can finally start recording.
That you've had for a week and not done anything with.
Yeah, okay, let's get that bit. It arrived on a wink, wink. It only didn't arrive early and arrived on the Monday, giving me time to record 15 videos. No, but yeah, he's not
even tested it. He's not done anything with it.
Yeah, I don't actually know if it works, so it will be the Sunday is still young. I still have time to do it. Maybe 1 or 2 test recordings. I'm still debating the games I want to do yet, so you may see a video from me in the near future. Probably in the next week or 2.
Maybe month or 2.
A month or 2 as well, yeah. You know what? You're doing so well with Wind Waker. I just don't want to stop the flow, know.
It's not like I haven't. How long has it been since the last episode was up?
4 days?
It's not too bad. A week and a bit. Just over a week.
A week and a bit. Yeah, so... It's not the end of the world. But yeah, so I've been trying to pick up a copy of Tomb Raider. I'm trying to get the special edition It's like 70 quid, but my local stores have all sold out as well. So I was going to do a Tomb Raider series, so it looks like I'm going to have to buy a normal copy, which devastates me. I think we're the first of the new Square Enix's Tomb Raiders that I'm going to have to buy just a regular old copy of, which hurts my soul. But yeah, so I might do the Square Enix Spider-Man Tomb Raider trilogy.
I think just a sec. I'm just looking at OBS and looking at the sound that's coming from you. I'm going to turn that down a bit. It might be very loud.
Yeah, that would be.
That looks looks a little bit more acceptable on the stream now. Was maxing out red a second ago.
Whoops! I'm talking at normal volume, which is quite worrying.
I think the gain's just a bit high on your mic.
Oh, hang on, I can. No, it's that one. Hang on, is that any better?
I mean, the problem is I don't even have you. Like, I've had to drop. Let's do this. If I turn my audio up to 100%, and then let's listen to you. If I turn that up to 100%, let's see what happens. Talk.
Okay.
It's pretty loud.
Yeah, I've
see like, the fact you turn that. If you look at. So Alex can actually see your screen.
Yeah, again.
Oh, deafening. Sorry, people out there.
I think it's like -1 now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why yours is.
I'm just freakishly loud. I can actually see the bar. I can see I'm hitting red.
I put down to.
I'll just whisper the whole podcast because that seems to work.
Yeah, let's maybe try it there.
No. Okay.
Maybe not. I will see how it goes. Fuck it. Like I said.
Okay, right. Yeah, I'm still hitting red, which is really worrying.
Yeah, that's true. How about that one? Bear in mind, I think I've got -10 dB. There we go. Hopefully that's you might be well too quiet now. Who knows?
Who knows? Hang on.
That's
How
looking
about
better.
now? How about now?
That's looking better.
Modify my own input volume at this point, just to help.
I think let's just leave it at that. Let's see how it goes. Fuck it.
Okay.
All right, let's go back to topics. Actual conversation.
Yeah. So so Tomb Raider was released this week. I'm now just like looking at that bar, going crazy. But yeah, so I mainly just been. Oh, hang on. Let's try that. Okay. All right, I've dropped it down to 25%. Hopefully that's okay. So yeah, I've looked at the latest Tomb Raider, had a gander, saw some online plays. It looks quite good. It does look very similar to the last two. I don't think Square Enix has kind of changed the formula at all. So it'll be. I mean, the starting sequence looks pretty interesting, but that's what was shown at E3. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. But I'm more than likely going to do all 3 games. He says, hypothetically, if a miracle occurs, he'll get all 3 done.
If he does one episode, I'll be surprised.
So
it shows you how much faith we have in each other.
Yeah, like I'm genuinely surprised you did 5 episodes. So I guess my competition now is to finish a game. That's my personal goal. To finish one game.
I think your competition is to start one game. Finish it.
Yeah, start and finish one game. So I'll start with the new sequence of Tomb Raiders and go from there. If I'm not going to do Tomb Raider, I might do Bastion, purely because it's a quick and easy game. A game I've completed multiple times. It means I don't have to talk much either. And it's actually just, I think it came out on Thursday for the Switch. Which is awesome. So it's now on almost every single console possible. And if you haven't played it,
and you probably have it in almost every single console possible.
Yeah, so every console I own that I can get, I think it's Transistor and Bastion. I have a copy of it on every console I can possibly own it on. I'm just waiting for Transistor to come out on Switch. I've already bought Bastion because, of course, I have on the Switch. I haven't actually played it yet though. I was just looking at it, going, "Ooh, yeah, it's good to play." So. But I mean, Supergiant Games is probably one of the more interesting companies. Like, though they are an indie game company in what they produce, you still get that that AAA quality from them.
Yeah.
Transistor was, and every story has, you can see the core themes. and they're just fantastic to play. So if you haven't played any of Supergiant's games, I would highly recommend it. So Bastion, Transistor. They also did a game called Pyre. If you're also a huge music nut, you'll love the soundtracks. Everyone falls in love with the soundtracks to the point where they put the full playlist on their YouTube channel, which I find is hilarious. So you've got good music, good gameplay. You're not gonna for what they're worth. They are probably underpriced in my opinion, especially as you get New Game Plus as well. There's very little to the actual game, but it's still worth playing. And more achievements if you're into that kind of stuff. But yeah, they're definitely good games to play. And again, Bastion's just come out for the Switch, and I think it's coming out. The Transistor's coming out for the Switch as well, but I have to double check when that's coming out.
I'll find out.
Yeah. Hang on.
Did you speaking of other games, did you pick up Spider-Man?
It was sold out, unfortunately. So every game I've been trying to pick up this week has been sold out. So that's another game.
Absolutely no excuse to not play with his Elgato. At least test and work it. No, he's you're gonna pick up Tomb Raider, play that. No, gonna pick up Spider-Man, play that. No. Oh, I've got an Elgato. Use it. No.
I want to test it on one of the latest games to make sure it works.
Just test it works. Make sure that you can record something.
Yeah. Let's go with that. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till I can get one of these latest games like Spooderman to test the Elgato's capabilities.
Yeah, so we're gonna wait until January 2020.
Hey, I will get it. I promise you, I will have one game video out before the end of the year. That gives you plenty of time. It's September now. I'm gonna give you a few months. Wait, hang on.
That
gives you 3 months.
3.5 months, pretty much.
Yep. So I will get one video out before the end of the year. And Transistor comes out on November 1st for the Switch. So, yeah, and Bastion's already out, which is fantastic.
Just do Bastion. You love it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Do it. Just do it. Yeah, we'll see. I've got 3 months to prepare. I'll do like an hour session, and then I'll spend the next 2 months editing, and it'll be the most sublime video ever. I'll release it on December 31st. I'll do like an entire playthrough and have it released on December 31st for you.
You're going to release an episode an hour.
Yeah. Just boom out. Oh god, I remember when we did that for LA Noire. That was hellish. Yeah. That was oh god. You're uploading the next episode. Quickly edit whilst we record the next episode. that was fun. Oh god. Anyway, so speaking of Tomb Raider and Spider-Man, they've been in the news. I believe Ki Kumo here has been keeping up with the Nintendo Switch and their latest updates, and he's supposed to keep me informed because I haven't actually followed any of the updates that have come out from the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, so Nintendo had a Direct the other day. Was it Thursday? So today's obviously Sunday. That was Thursday. I didn't actually watch it live. I watched it next morning. So a few things we were already expecting, a few things that were already announced. A bit of a leak, I would say, from when they were meant to originally do it. But a bunch of new things actually. So one of the first things is that was one part was pre-released before the or pre-announced before the Direct, and one was officially announced at the Direct, even though it was already leaked. Is the 2 limited edition Switch consoles. So
that's the Pikachu and Eevee one.
Yeah, so there's a Pikachu and Eevee one. I don't want to. Yeah, so there's a Pikachu and Eevee one. So they've got a limited edition dock with I'm just seeing if I can find it. Pikachu, Pokemon Pikachu, Switch. That's fun. So you've got a limited edition dock with Pikachu and Eevee in the front, and they've also got like Joy-Cons to match the colours. So one side being brownish for Eevee, one side being like yellow for Pikachu, and then they've also got on the actual Switch itself at the back. They've actually got a Pokemon design.
Nice.
So it's not just a case of they've gone, oh, here's some Joy-Cons, here's a bit decal on the dock. It's also there's a decal on the actual Switch itself. So it kind of, even if you change the Joy-Cons, you still can't make it the same Switch, if that makes sense.
I mean, looking at it now, the only thing I'm interested in is the decals on the actual Switch itself.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the color coding is awful.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the color coding. I don't even know if they're gonna even set like the fact that there's no symbol other than the color. There's no identifying markers that it's the Joy Cons belong to the Pokemon series. So it's a bit of a weird one. I think it's just I'm pretty disappointed by this, just purely on the basis of what they've been doing with the 3DSs and the 2DS XL and what they've been doing. Nintendo have been there. It's just been so on point. They've been making some really lovely limited edition consoles. And on the Switch, they've just gone, let's just do something very simple. That's nothing.
I mean, I'm personally invested in the game because, again, it's nice to see a 3D Pokemon game on not the 3DS. Because I haven't actually owned a 3DS in years, so it's about time I picked one up. So it'd be good to see it on the Switch, but I'm more invested in the game than the actual update on the console. So that looks pretty though.
Yeah. So the other one they did was the Smash Bros. Ultimate one. The dock looks good. I think it's something different. Joy-Cons are very very plain. It's pretty much just the plus kind of symbol.
Yeah.
And I don't actually think there is any. I don't know if there is any markings on the actual Switch itself to signify it's any different. I can't remember. I think it is just a Joy-Con and a dock. Again, overall, I just it's a bit lackluster. They're like.
I mean, because I'm picking up the special edition that comes with the controller. And that I think was enough for me. I don't see any warrant for the need for this. I mean, I know there's going to be Super Smash nuts who are going to go crazy for this, and I can see it being at all the tournaments, especially the controllers.
Yeah. To be honest, I can imagine both of these selling massively. I guarantee you, especially in Japan and elsewhere, they're going to sell for the Christmas period.
Oh, definitely. So when are they both releasing?
With the games, so Pokemon is the 15th. I think it's 15th of November. I want to say, maybe the 14th. It's around that period. 16th is Pokemon Let's Go, and then Smash is coming out. The start of December?
December 7th. Yeah, December 7th.
Yeah. So that's when they're kind of releasing these. So I reckon it's Christmas period. The Pokemon one's gonna definitely get the kids. The parents are gonna go, oh yeah, look, it's all cutesy, it's all nice and friendly. The whole Pokemon side of it is just very cutesy friendly. The way they're doing with Let's Go, even I don't know if you saw there was a trailer. They released a new trailer for the Pokemon Let's Go game, and they showing off some new moves for the Pokemon, and they've just got awful names, absolutely awful names.
Oh my god, come on, you have to give me one now.
Like Splishy Splash. So Pikachu can do Splishy Splash. Yeah, it's basically Surf.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, it's just not really anything great. I want to see if I can get the other names very quickly. Yep, Buzzy Buzz, Sizzly Slide, Bouncy Bubble for EV. Like I said, Pikachu has Splishy Splash, which is basically Surf. It's obviously which is a reference to the whole Pokemon Yellow surfing Pikachu with Pokemon Stadium. But yeah, these kind of weird new moves. They're very good. They're going for the kids. To me, Let's Go is just but it's not a main series game. It's just to try and draw people back in. It's get the Pokemon Go crowd, get some of the Switch crowd, show off a bit of the technology, what's going on. And kind of just make a bit of a new name. Oh yeah, look, Pokemon on the Switch. Look, Pokemon in 3D. It's different. I will pick it up, but it's not the one I'm going. I'm more waiting for the main series one next year.
Yeah, because I thought it was going to be a new 3D full game for the Pokemon series.
When they announced it, they said this is a full game. It's just it's just Gen 1 basically. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, this is red and blue on the Switch, but it's got a few different tweaks and it's just kind of different.
You can't
and then
get enough of Fuzzy Buzz.
Yeah. And then, yeah, they're just going for that cutesy market. But then they went, also 2019, we will be releasing a mainline game. We will be releasing the sequel to the main series that's on 3DS at the moment. So Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I think were the last ones, if I'm correct. So I don't know. They will be releasing.
I haven't touched a Pokemon game since maybe Emerald. So.
Yeah, but yeah, they'll be releasing the mainline series on the Switch next year. This is just kind of like I think something quick they've put together, introduce something and kind of get a different market. The fact you've got the Pokeball controller is kind of cool, and it's just a nice little gimmick at the same time.
Yeah. But because to me this just screams like this is us testing the hardware and the software for Pokemon Sun and Moon. Because again, I think you're right. I think Sun and Moon were the last two to come out. I was genuinely surprised when it didn't come out for the Switch, as well as the 3DS. So I thought they were keeping those separate, but it seems like they're testing the 3D software now to make sure that the next
see how it goes.
Game will be there. Yeah.
I mean, talking about Pokemon, one of the other things that actually came out from the directors, Game Freak is actually making a new RPG game. That's not Pokemon related. It's a different universe, completely different game. It's a game called Town. The whole universe is based in one town. The whole game is based in a town. It's basically, I think it was like the way it was portrayed. It was like a set of kids had to defend their town from monsters, basically. Something different. It looks alright. It looks different. But it is, it's kind of cool to see Game Freak do something other than, that's not Pokemon.
Yeah, it reminds me of Mother.
Yeah.
So it looks pretty cool though.
So yeah, it's just something. Yeah, I think it's going to have its comedy elements. It's going to have something that's a bit more very different from Pokemon. At least it's not that type of game. So I'm kind of interested to see how that gets on when it comes out.
No, definitely. It'll be nice to see some new creature designs that aren't Pokemon-esque.
Yeah. Although some of it will probably be Pokemon-esque.
Definitely. I would not be surprised if there is not a Pikachu in there somehow.
Some reference. One of the other big things that was announced as part of the Direct was Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Switch.
Nice.
I am looking forward to it. I did enjoy the Luigi's Mansion series when it originally came out back in the GameCube and so forth. I enjoyed it, so I'm kind of glad that's coming out. Has been announced for next year, so we kind of have to wait. But at least it's something to look forward to. They also announced they are releasing the original Luigi's Mansion on 3DS as well.
Nice.
So the full game, just 3DS. So at least you can kind of pick that up, play that, get entertained through that until you get your Luigi's Mansion fix next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was one of the games that kind of passed me by was Luigi's Mansion. So it might be interesting to see from a newer perspective if the third one it can be played by someone who's not played the other two.
I think it is such an easy game to pick up and play. I don't think you'll need to play the other ones. It's just you'll pick it up, play it, and it's more straightforward enough to kind of deal with it. Yeah, I mean, they announced a bunch of other things, updates to Mario Tennis, Splatoon 2. They also spoke about the Nintendo Online service, which is interesting to say the least. Still not as much details as I would like to see. I mean, we've now
got an email as well.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know you could buy it in store because I think I got an email from Game saying, "Oh, pick up your new." Online system for much like PS Plus and that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if there is any price difference between picking it up from Game to picking
I don't think so. I don't think there's, especially on the launch, you're not going to see any difference there. It's going to be the same type of thing there. Like I said, what's kind of included, what we know is online play. That was already to be expected. Still no presence for any form of voice chat built into the Switch natively. You have to still use their interesting app. I don't know why. They are also still no messaging system, still no real proper communication system on the Switch yet. which is a bit of a disappointment not to see as part of this. I know they also said there is going to be basically an update to the Switch, which links your Switch, like your Switch Online account and your Nintendo account, and basically once that's linked, you can't unlink it. Like you can like at the moment you can unlink it, but once this update's done, it's done. That's it. Like they're linked, they're permanently linked. I think that's just partially probably for like a security bit, and also makes it a little bit easier to kind of like follow your data around.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. This was always my issue with the Nintendo coming up with their own internet package. At least with PS Plus and Xbox Gold or Xbox Live, you had your reasons for purchasing it, whether it's for the 2 free games a month that you get with each one, or the full online play. But I know, for instance, if I was getting, because I'm a massive Sony player, so I use PS Plus. For me, PS Plus had its merits. I was able to communicate with my friends in game. It was a full service. Whereas from what I've seen of the online service that Nintendo are bringing, it's so lackluster that I don't feel like it's worth the cost, especially if I'm still having to use the smartphone app. To use it as well.
Yeah, it is really disappointing. I think what does make the two things that make it worth it at the moment is obviously online play, or three things. Online play is worth to keep if you do play things like Splatoon and Mario online or Mario Kart online. Like you will lose those games, so like if you want to play them online, you have to pay for it. The save data, the cloud save data, the fact that they have introduced that, they've admitted that they're not actually going to do it to all games, which is a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, I mean that was the other reason. The only other reason I wanted to buy it was to have, cloud saving, because again, if my console gets nicked, I don't want to be in a position where I'm like, oh, okay, well, I've lost my console, I'm gonna have to start every game. But I still have, most people carry all their games with them anyway. It's gonna be a case of, oh, I've now lost everything I've purchased on that Switch.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, games you can re-download. It is just saves that's the biggest problem. But there are some games like that will not support it. Like even like first party ones like Splatoon 2, the new Pokemon game, Dark Souls, Dead Cell, FIFA, NBA. It's kind of like it's a bit of a weird one. Supposedly it's all down to reduce cheating. We'll see how long that one lasts. I think that's
a stupid piece of evidence one.
Yeah. I still think it's early days. We'll see how it goes and changes from there. The smartphone app still crap. I just don't see the point. It's just like I said, they just need to integrate it to the Switch. You have a headphone port. You can do it on the Switch.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why they make this so difficult, but it sounds, from what I've read and seen, it sounds a lot of this is being pushed by Nintendo Japan. Like Nintendo America are just like, yeah, we are well up for making the online service like what Microsoft have done, what Sony have done. We want to do that. We want to integrate these things. We want to make this like basically the same as what everyone else is doing on our own level. Whereas Nintendo Japan are like, nah, we'll do our own thing, which is very typical for them. But hey ho. But the other thing I do think, the other thing that I kind of am appealed to and I like the idea of is the introduction of these NES games. You do get 20 games with the subscription, just at launch. I mean, some of which is like top games like Super Mario Bros. 3, Mario Bros, Legend of Zelda, Yoshi, Dr. Mario, Super Mario Bros, Donkey Kong. You get some of the best NES games. All for free.
I log into my PlayStation and get PS Plus, and I can download Destiny 2 today.
Yeah.
Like the very least, fair enough. Like wanting to promote their old school games, but I think if it was your launch title, you should have released a relatively new game to go with that.
Yeah, but at the same token, it's still, you also got to think the Switch Online service is half the price of Xbox Live, is half the price of PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
20 quid for the year is still less than the 40 quid a year that the other services offer at.
Yeah, this is true.
And that library is going to build up. I mean, like I said, it looks like they're releasing 3 games a month by the looks of it, and it's just starting off with the NES platform. It's not gonna. It won't be long until they start going, oh wait, we've ran out of NES games, especially 3 games a month. They're not going to release the entire NES library. Even that wasn't. I don't even think that's that big.
I mean, so what they so okay, so I sign in, I get the Nintendo Online, I get my 23 games. Do I get to keep those 20 games if I cancel my subscription, or is it as soon as I cancel?
I don't. I think you lose it as soon as it's kind of cancelled.
Okay.
It's just part of it.
No, I can understand.
But that's kind of like look. That's where the like Game Pass on the Xbox is. It's where some of them are moving towards that way. You don't get to keep
the whole
these
Netflix.
games. Yeah, that whole subscription. It's a service. It's a service as a subscription.
Like if they said it was just that, plus you get the online stuff, maybe. But it just seems there's so many flaws with what it is at the moment. It seems rushed to me, and that's what it is. It seems like a rushed.
Yeah.
Like they're preparing for Mario Kart. Well, to be fair, it sounds like they're preparing for Smash. Because like no, everyone wants to play Smash online. Let's get this out before Smash comes out. Maybe Pokemon Go will. Well, the new Pokemon game will also have online play. I think it's those 2 games. They're like, okay, it'll be the Christmas period. Everyone will want to play online with their friends. Let's get this out before then, and it'll be interesting to see how it develops. Because again, I really hope this isn't the final product. I hope there's more to this.
I think I definitely think it'll develop. I don't think this is the final product. I mean, the other thing is, like I said, they are doing special offers as part of this. That are exclusive to the Nintendo Online members, such as the NES controllers that you can get for the Switch now. So you buy it as a pair. You get 2 controllers that like connect to the Switch. They are not Joy-Cons. As I kind of mentioned to Alex earlier, he thought they were, but they're not. They are purely to play for the NES games. They are just remake NES controllers that work for the Switch.
Because I saw these advertised on Facebook, and I was like, oh, these are really cool looking Joy-Cons. These are something I would want to buy. And then you told me they're not actually Joy-Cons, they're just NES controllers. And I was like, well, what's the point then? Why would I spend? I don't even know how much they're going to be. But
I don't think. That's what I'm just trying to find. I've seen the American pricing. That's $60 for the pair.
So assume it's crappy conversion. It'll be best because at the moment it seems to be just replace a dollar with a pound, even though it shouldn't be. But
to be fair, that's how it's been for a very long time. And a lot of these services, it's always a dollar to the pound for some reason. We get a bit robbed like that, but that's all part of it. I'm just seeing if I can find the UK price. Doesn't even list the price. It just goes purchase like coming soon.
It's coming out in America first. Then we know that much.
Yeah, probably. But and like I said, these controllers are exclusive to like Nintendo Switch Online members. But personally, I was saying to Alex, I rather just pick something up like this, the 8-bit Do controller. It gives me retro play, native control connection to the Switch. It's also a Bluetooth controller, so I can connect it to my PC. I can connect it to my laptop, I can connect it to my phone, etc. It's got motion control, it's got rumble, it's got analogs, every buttons you kind of need. The front, the 2 sets of bumpers. It's even got home button and the screenshot button for the Switch. So it's got every functionality a Pro controller has. But for a fraction of the price, it's like 40 quid. Okay, so you only get one compared to these 2 NES controllers. But
you can use it for all your
you can use it.
Gaming.
You can use it for everything. So we'll see how that one goes. Other than that, Switch, I'm just trying to think. Did anything else part of the Nintendo Online, like the Nintendo Direct? Probably. I'm just missing it out. There's more stuff. They did cover a bunch of other things, but hey ho, it's just all part of it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I have my Switch. I very rarely go online. Before they're charging, if it's like 18 quid for the year, I might just get it because why not? But again, I think there's gonna be a lot of people in a similar situation where it's a case of why not rather than I guess I need this service.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. Like I said, 18 quid a year. Yeah, the family membership does make it a bit appealing for multiple people.
Yeah, I mean, if I get 8 accounts or 4 accounts, split it with a couple of friends. But then I need to look into how the family membership works. if there is, if it will affect what I can download, what I can't download. Can one person only access it at a time?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, they're still very vague and a lot of information about it, but we'll find. Like I said, you'll find out more information when it comes. You'll see what happens when it starts working. The good thing is you can get a 7-day trial of the Switch service when it comes out. So you may as well just go to the eShop, see what the trial is, and play some stuff.
It's a trial by combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, Nintendo have done a lot of good things and a lot of bad things. Wii U, bad thing, Switch, good thing. So it'll be interesting to see what this online service looks like in a year. If they keep the price at the price it is now and still improve the service, that would be interesting to see.
I think that's what I'm saying. I don't see that. I cannot see Nintendo launching the service at this price and then going, oh wait, let's make this more expensive. I think it is going to be, this is the price, and they've looked at the long-term gains of it. They looked at what's happening. But I mean, if they get the amount of money they'll make from this service is insane. If like half the people who have bought Switches get this service, the number of Switch sales is rapidly selling. It's still one of the most fastest selling consoles in the world. And I don't think there's any sign of it stopping just yet. And don't forget, we are coming up to 2 full years since it was released. Like
20 million. Yeah, we're currently at 20 million copies sold of the Switch.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot in less than 2 years.
Definitely.
I mean, it's selling, like, if you do the rough maths, that's like not far off. Like, it's over 1 million a month. Like, that's, if you start looking at that type of figure, it's a lot of units a day they're still selling. Don't forget, there was a massive, especially in the first year, there was massive stock issues worldwide.
Yeah. I mean, if you compare it to the Xbox One, which has been out since 2013, and this is an estimate of about 40 million units sold, 39 million units sold. So, it's, I mean, PlayStation 4's, in the 80s, so going to be a while.
Japanese market, but the Switch is picking up massively in Japan, and it's still selling. And watch, more people will buy these limited edition consoles. And don't forget, both Xbox and PlayStation have had hardware revisions. With the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X and One S. I
can't wait to see the Nintendo X.
Yeah, because like I said, you think it like that. Everyone goes, okay, I've got a PS4, but PS4's Pro's better. So, it can play games better, it can do this better, it's faster, it's this, that. Oh, the Xbox One, Xbox One S is faster. Oh, wait, Xbox One X is faster. Yeah, so a lot of people end up having 3 Xboxes. So one person would have bought 3. Number of people that would have bought, like the PlayStations, it's the same thing. A lot of people will pick up 2. When it comes to the Switch, I think with Cloud Save, it's going to make people want to buy multiple. To have like, oh no, I can have a couple in my house, like one for me to use, one for my partner to use, for the kids to use, and you can pick up any of them, use your Cloud Save, and actually jump on any Switch and continue your game where you are. That is actually a really cool idea, and I think that would help sell more Switches to people, especially families and households, where you've got at the moment, it's my Switch. If I want to pick up someone else's Switch, I can't really play my games where I am. I can't pick up like Zelda and just continue where I am. I can't pick up Xenoblade and just continue like I've been playing. Like you play Xenoblade 40 hours and then you're like, I have to pick up my version of the Switch. I have to pick up my Switch, or someone else is playing it in the house, or like you can't. But if you can pick up another Switch that's in your house and you just carry on playing it, it's a bit of attractive especially for family households to pick up multiple.
Yeah. Especially because the Switch is becoming quite popular for the JRPG market.
Yes.
Like Xenoblade being one of the bigger ones. I'd say the new Zelda, Breath of the Wild, is pretty much an RPG.
I mean, it supports...
Game Freak.
Yeah. The fact you're saying that supports what Square Enix have just done. That was one massive announcement they actually made on the Nintendo Direct, was the inclusion of like 7 or 8 like Final Fantasy games to be released over the next year. Including obviously Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD. That was one of them. Then they've done Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 10 and 10 2. The HD remakes are all on there. Final Fantasy 12 is on there, and some other like not main series, but like some of the side games that they've done. But they've said they're releasing like 7 or 8, or I think it is maybe even 9 Final Fantasy games over the next 12 months.
See, I mean, this is the thing, because I haven't. The only Final Fantasy game I've personally played was 15. So it will be quite fun to, use the Switch to play these.
Yeah.
Especially because, again, the reason I bought a Switch wasn't for day-to-day use, it was more for long trips. So, I can see myself on a plane or on a train for 3 to 6 hours, just going to whip up the Switch, play that. So,
it's...
that's where I see myself using it. So these RPGs that are coming out, it's something I'll be a lot more interested in. So, and again, I'm glad to see it happening. Especially FF15's Pocket Edition. That's probably the cutest thing I've seen in a while. So, especially as I have finished FF15, so I'll be quite interested to see some of the... I want to see a Chocobo. I haven't actually seen a Chocobo yet for FF15.
Yeah.
So
it's yeah, and the fact it's on offer at the moment, 15 Pocket Edition. I think it's like 15 quid at the moment on the Switch, PS4 and Xbox. So it is quite it's quite, they're kind of really pushing it. I think this is one of the reasons why they announced the Pocket Edition before regardless of the Nintendo Direct going ahead, because of like they have this promotion going on. They're releasing, because they're not just releasing their games just to the Switch, they are releasing them to the other consoles as well. But the fact that it's, like you said, portable side of it, it really makes it a bit attractive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's certain, there's some, that is the appeal for me with the Switch, but I mean, again, it's the point that I'm at now, which is something that's always annoyed me with Nintendo, is the pre-owned games market as well, especially.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pick up Doom for my Switch, because I'm relatively new to the Switch market. I picked it up, I think, early August. I think was around the period I picked it up. So I was like, okay, I just want to pick up a few games. So I picked up some first-party games, Mario, Zelda, Hyrule Warriors, even that's third party, with the first party fan base. I was looking at Doom, and because I wanted to play, I haven't played the new Doom, so I was like, okay, I'll pick it up on the Switch, and it was, I think, 35 to 40 quid.
Yeah, still really expensive at the moment.
Yeah, but I could pick it up on the PS4 for a tenner, and so I think there's a lot of things that Nintendo have to wise up on. And one of them is their pre-owned market, especially.
Yeah, I think the problem is I want to pick up. Ever since it came out, I've always wanted to pick up 1-2 Switch, but I refuse to pay like what's asking for it. To be honest, I won't pay more than 10 for it. If I find it anywhere for £10, I will pick it up. Anywhere more than that, I don't really want to pay for it, because I just feel like it's a fun little game to play. But I just don't see how the second-hand market for it is just still so high.
It reminds me very much of Wii Sports. We play those kind of games.
But
so I don't understand.
Like I said, I mean, to be fair, I can't blame Nintendo for this. It's a little bit out of their control in a sense, but it's just part of the parcel. I think like they can't really control what the resale value of these games are, what the market value is, outside of what retail pricing is. To be fair, what Nintendo are doing really well at, and in my opinion at the moment, is indie games. They're just smashing it out of the park with indie games. Just giving so much support for these companies, so much support for these developers, where people are just coming out with some really good games, and they're actually really cheap in the scheme of it, where you're picking up a game for £15 and you're like, wow, that's actually a really enjoyable game. Games
like Dead Cells, fantastic. I need to see if, I think Hollow Knight as well, if that's gone to the Switch, play it. I'm a massive indie gamer, so I think, I've played Dead Cells, I've played Hollow Knight. I'm trying to remember, I played Dead Cells on the Switch, but I can't remember if I played it on, can't remember if I played Hollow Knight on the Switch yet. But if it is on there, play that. Enter the Gungeon's another fantastic game to play on the Switch. There's actually like special items specifically for the Nintendo. There's a load of Nintendo references in the game as well. But it's just a fantastic game, repetitive fun. Dead Cells and Enter the Gungeon both fall under this roguelike, repeat until you get better kind of system, whereas Hollow Knight is very much a Metroidvania. And they're both, all three of them are fantastic games to play, as is Bastion, Transistor, and again, it is must admit, you look at this, and you do see that the majority of the games they have on there are these indie titles, and again, decently priced, and well worth the time to play. And it does seem that they've made sure that their market is, one, supported, and two, is the best quality it can be for the Switch. So it is good to see, and it would be good to see more. And it is good to see Nintendo are taking the right way now.
And one of the nice things I have seen as well with the indie market as well is a lot of these indie games are actually getting physical releases. You can actually pick up Dead Cells as a physical release. You can pick up like Celeste as a physical release. I'm pretty sure you can pick up other games, all these physical releases, and it's just crazy. But like I said, that's why they're doing well, I think. But just like I said, I think it's still a very young life cycle, like early in their life cycle of the console, how it's going to develop. Online service, they should have sorted this out a long time ago. They've had the paveway there ready for them to go before they released the Switch. It was like Microsoft have already got this down to pretty much a T. Sony have already got this down to a T. Just replicate what they've got. People will pay for it. Done.
But that's all they had to do. But
we're still talking about it towards the end of 2018, and they've still not sorted it out properly. No surprises there though. It's Nintendo. They do what they want. And it'll take them as long as they care to deal with it. As long as it doesn't die and they keep improving it, I think that's all be fine.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think there's a lot of things that Nintendo are doing right, but there's still a lot they're doing wrong. I think for kind of being the seniors in the gaming market, they should have some of this stuff down to a T, and it seems that they are struggling at times. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here.
Yep. We'll see how it goes. 2019 will be an interesting year.
Will be. So anyway, I have a fantastic article that I found this week that made me laugh so hard. So Fortnite is one of the causes of divorces in both UK and America.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
I know. So just as a fun little tidbit, Ki Kumo, how many divorces do you think? Let's go percentages. How many divorces do you think, like Fortnite and other social games, are the core?
What in 2018?
Yeah, in 2018.
It's going to be stupidly high.
Okay, so I'll give you an idea.
The fact it'll be over like 1-2% is ridiculous.
Right. Okay. So there was 4,665 divorces this year.
Yep.
5% of them were caused by Fortnite and other social games. So, but Fortnite was the number one reason. Apparently cited. So,
and it's
addiction to drugs, alcohol, and gambling have often been cited, but gaming is now the new one. So this includes online gaming and social media. But everyone's blaming Fortnite for their divorce. So that was a nice little article. I thought I'd get a chuckle.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't even think Fortnite's worth getting a divorce over.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even worth playing in my opinion, but hey ho.
I've played it. I've played a couple games of it. I've got it on the Switch. It's free, so I've got it on there. I've got it on the Xbox.
Yeah.
It's free, so I've got it on there. I've played maybe a couple of rounds on the Switch. I haven't even played one round on the Xbox. To be honest, PUBG looks more fun, but I just can't bother to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm expecting PUBG to become free to play in the near future.
I think I'm surprised it isn't, but it's one of those things. I like I like the concept of it, but Fortnite's just too like cartoonish, too like I would rather a bit more realistic, like what PUBG is.
I mean, again, I was with Fortnite. This is the funny part. I was really invested in the original game, because that was very much a fun game to play with friends. PUBG, well, Fortnite Battle Royale is still a fun game to play with friends. But from what I wanted to get from it, the original Fortnite was what I wanted, and not what they've got now. And now, you look at I think it was literally 1 month after they released the Battle Royale, you had the developer's notes, which was literally like 3 pages long of all the things they've done in the Battle Royale, and a paragraph dedicated to their original game that they spent 8 years developing. So, I give them credit where it's due in terms of working out the market and the best way to get in there, because now they're one of the biggest, Fortnite is probably one of the biggest games played. But at the same time, it's like you had a team of people working on that game for 8 years, and you're not even giving it any credit where it's due. That's partly what really annoyed me about that. But again, It is the game's world. Speaking of, I've got a few questions for you, Ki Kumo.
I'm gonna. I'm not looking forward to this.
Yeah. So, as some of you may be aware, it was Games Day on Thursday, the 13th. No idea why. Couldn't find any reason as to why it's called Games Day.
I question it. I just reckon someone's gone. Hey, it's Games Day. It's one of those things. Oh, it's national.
Yeah.
It's national this. It's national that day. No, it's just made.
Yeah,
someone's made it up as a marketing ploy.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's a National Hot Dog Day, so this could be a National Games Day. So, first question for you, Ki Kumo.
I'm not looking forward to this in the slightest.
What is the top best-selling video game of all time?
Oh. I'm gonna say of all time.
Of all time.
I feel like it's GTA.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Think older.
Older. Bloody hell. What gen are we looking at here?
I mean, it's been on almost every single format ever.
Huh. I don't know.
Put it this way, I'm pretty sure you could guess the second. I didn't realise this was the number one best-selling game.
Like...
The second one we both played together.
Like...
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm curious. I'm really curious what this is.
Tetris.
Fuck off.
Released in 1984.
That's the number. That is the number one game. What?
Yeah, it is the number one best-selling game of all time because it's been out since 1984.
Space Invaders has been out longer.
Yeah, but yeah. Okay, so following on this vein, come on. Following with this vein, what is the number one best-selling console?
Number one's best-selling console. It's got to be. It's PlayStation 2, isn't it?
Yeah, well done. Yeah, you got one right.
I know the console's a bit better, but yeah, that I don't think that's gonna be an interesting one because I know the Switch is definitely breaking records in the short term, especially PlayStation 2 records. It's breaking, like especially in the first year of sales and so forth. So
yeah. Okay, what was number 2?
What number 2 best-selling console?
Yep.
Is it a Nintendo console?
It is indeed.
It's the Wii, isn't it?
Nope.
No.
No, hang on.
Oh.
Wii is the 5th best-selling console.
Wow. Because we had an insane launch of their life cycle.
9 years, they sold 101 million consoles.
So number 2, what is it? It's not the Switch, is it? Can't be. That's well too early for that.
Switch is too young.
It's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be N64.
Nope.
No, GameCube. Nope. Or are we going even older? Or are we going like NES, like old school?
Nope.
No, it's NES now.
It's a Nintendo console. Going the wrong way. It was released in 2004.
Released when? You broke up when you said that.
It was released in 2004. They sold 150 million copies.
2004.
Yeah, copies, consoles.
It's like GameCube.
Nope, wasn't the GameCube.
Oh wait, 2004. That's DS, isn't it? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I'm not classing it as a console. It's handheld. Like I know, but I'm thinking in my head, I'm thinking console. I'm not thinking handheld. I'm treating handheld separately. That's why it wasn't clicking to me at all. I was just like, that's got to be like. No, that's cheating.
Yeah, beats me. Come on.
Because I know the DS. Like, if you said what's the number one selling handheld console, yeah, DS done. It's simple. They've got insane sales. They're still selling today when you're classing the 3DS. But when it came
I think it was just the DS. But yeah, again, it's insane. Right, last question for you for this game today. What was the first ever video game?
First ever video game.
No, there are 2 answers, and I'll accept either one.
First ever video game.
Yep.
I want to say like Pong.
That is the is the correct answer, but it's not the name of the game. But again, I'm trying to remember.
I don't actually know what the original name is.
It was, I think it's Tennis for Two is the original name.
Oh,
for the
okay.
game.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that listed before.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought that would be like one of the oldest games, because that was what 19. That was what 60. I want to say 60s.
1958.
58. Oh, I wanted to say 68. I was a decade out.
Yeah,
But
1958. It was produced. It was created and put in a science museum. Also, hang on. Brookhaven National Laboratory Open House, and was the most popular exhibit they ever had, with queues that would literally line up out of the door, so people could play two for tennis or something like that.
yeah,
So.
that's no surprise there. Something is, I mean, considering it's something revolutionary. So fair enough. It paved the way for what we're doing nowadays. So I got to give it that.
Yeah, it was a good time for all. And yeah, so I hope everyone had a great games day and everyone picked up stuff in the sales. I unfortunately received the email a day too late. So, because I don't check my emails regularly enough. So I received that email on Friday or Thursday. But yeah, so if you picked up anything interesting, let us know. Because I wanted to know what was in the sale. I completely missed out.
Yeah, so I didn't do as bad in the quiz I was expecting.
Yeah,
So,
it seemed you'd get the right console one. I knew you'd trouble on the game. I think it was like Wii Sports was the 6th.
Yeah, but Wii Sports is just like cheating because that came free with the console.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, yeah,
how many people actually paid for Wii Sports? That's the question.
That'll be an interesting find. Like research into that. Like, did you pay for your Wii Sports or not? Yes or no?
I don't think so.
See, but this is the thing. It's like if you bought. This is the other funny thing that I found hilarious was if the original Wii, it came with a physical copy with a case of Wii Sports.
Yeah.
If you bought it down the line like a year later, it was literally just in a cardboard sleeve. And I thought it was so funny.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I had an original Wii and then I had to buy one for family.
Yeah.
To use because that's what you did with the Wii. So literally, it was so funny because I saw the game. So got lecheaper. They're not even giving you the case anymore. It's literally just the little cardboard sleeves you get from computer games from your cereal boxes. Hell.
At least it was nowadays it would just be digital. Just go, yeah, here's a free digital game.
Yeah, just download it. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, I think my copy of Wind Waker I've now officially lost because it was a pre-download on my Switch.
Yeah.
On my Switch, on my Wii U, and then my Wii U died. Funnily enough, this is why I'm so aggravated by cloud saving and data saving. I actually lost my original Nintendo account as well, which really upset me. There's some good stuff on there.
Yeah, it's a pain.
Yeah, and it's me being grouchy old man about Nintendo. So.
You love Nintendo, but you hate Nintendo at the same time.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. So I think we've only got one more kind of topic from the news this week. It's a bit of a cringe-worthy one. I just have to
Okay. As a preface, we are okay. So this is about the new iPhone release for the iPhone XS and the iPhone XR and the iPhone XR, whatever it's called. We are both Android users. I don't use an iPhone. Ki Kumo, I assume, still doesn't use an iPhone.
I'm rocking the Pixel nowadays. I
Yeah,
haven't used an iPhone. The last iPhone I used as my main driver was the 4S.
Yeah, I think the last Apple product I owned was an iPod.
So I mean, I've got iPads. I've got an iPad Pro. I have an Air 2. I get iPads. They're handy little tablets. I'm happy for it to be a tablet. Phone, that's fine. Rather not.
Yeah.
And
looking at the price points alone, we were doing a bit of research beforehand. Yeah, it was
absolutely ridiculous.
Terrifying.
Like I just like my iPad Pro wasn't even that expensive. Like an iPad Pro, like look, I'm just on Apple's website now. So an iPad Pro, alright, let's do this. The iPad Pro 12.9-inch model, yeah, base price is $769. So that's the larger, that's the big screen large model. Yeah, $769. You get the base cheap model of the new iPhone, the iPhone XR, is $749. So you can get cheapest iPhone versus one of the, albeit the larger iPad Pros with not the biggest capacity, the lowest capacity, but it's about the same price. Personally, I think the 12.9-inch iPad Pro is ridiculously big. I don't think it's worth it. I have the 10.5-inch, bless you. I have the 10.5-inch one, which does cut down on costs dramatically. As in, it's £620 for the base model. That's 64 gig.
I mean, this is the thing.
That's
even
like...
I was looking at the prices. I was like, I could buy a laptop, which will last longer than that phone, and buy a cheap phone. Like, okay, fair enough. I can understand people who are Apple diehards probably love this phone. It will do amazing things. I mean, but again, it's why would you need?
Then you, like I said, then you go to the other end of the spectrum, and you go to iPhone 10, the 10s Max.
Tennis. No, it's tennis. iPhone tennis.
Tennis. The XS Max. I can't even say it. XS Max. You go to the highest capacity model. So, like, if you go on their website, you pick it high capacity model. It's £1,449 in pounds. £1,449.
Oh, like you want Apple Care with that as well.
Yeah, you definitely want to have Apple Care with that. It's £200 for Apple Care. That's just ridiculous. And then you go to, like, I said to Alex, and it's like, you look at it, you go to Dell's website, you go, okay, let's have a look at their XPS 15 laptop. You can pick an XPS 15, the like hex core i7 processor, 16 gig of RAM, 512 SSD, and it's an M.2 SSD as well, so it's not even like the SATA base. So it's faster. GTX 1050 Ti built in, 1448.62, yeah. Or you can buy an iPhone 10s Max with 500 same capacity, 512 gig, like storage, but for 1449. So I can get a laptop that's cheaper than a phone.
Yeah.
And the XPSs are really well rated.
I mean, this is the thing. It's, you know, to me, Apple have managed to create a market that they can purely exploit, and this has just been the new tipping point on this. I'm hoping that there'll be a lot less people buying it and realizing, hang on, I'm actually getting conned.
They're not going to. I mean, and then you like look at the Android market and you look at like what people like OnePlus are doing. And OnePlus, they've got a flagship level of phone, but they are like comparison, they are so cost effective. Like, what is the OnePlus 6 at the moment? It's like, what, 600, 700 quid? Somewhere like that. £569. 256 gig. OnePlus 6. Like, £570. That, to me, that's still bloody expensive. But, like, you go for, what's the cheap, like, same type of capacity. You go for the iPhone XR, same capacity. Like, what's that going to cost you? It's... stupid bloody colours, too many colours. 256 gig. OnePlus 256 gig base, like their built-in storage. 256 gig, £569. You go to the iPhone XR 256 gig, £900. You can nearly buy two. Like
it's again, you know, it's reached this point in the phone market, and again, it always will do, where you'll have one company that owns the brand that will be, you know, because again, you're going to have the pictures come out of, oh wow, you can't even afford an iPhone XS, you know, and that's going to be it. You know, it doesn't matter what other phones you bring out, everyone's going to be like, well, you know what, I have the iPhone XS.
I'm now just going to call it the iPhone XS. I've loved that name now.
Yeah, it's just how I remember it. So,
it's crazy to think like the idea of a £1,000 flagship phone with the iPhone X was ridiculous to begin with. The fact that that was already like ridiculous in price. Now they've got base models as the £1,000 mark. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like the S9, the Samsung Galaxy S9, you get like a hybrid SIM model, like 128 gig, and it's £869. Okay, you're getting pushing up to 256 is £929. But like, okay, that's their like premium flagship. Like that's the like balls to the wall most expensive one they have is 900. Like it's still over £500 cheaper than Apple's offering. Like you could buy a Galaxy S9 Plus, OnePlus 6, and it's still like the same price as one iPhone. Like I just can't believe it. It's ridiculous, and people will buy it. People will line up and purchase this, and like just why? Just...
Yeah, I mean, again, it's I know quite a few people who have iPhones. Some of them are the entitled types. The others will wait for they'll buy an older model, and it's purely because they're used to those phones.
Like,
And again, I can understand that.
I can understand that. And like, I'm not like I understand iPhones. I think they have their place. Like when the iPhone the iPhone 8, that's where the pricing should be. Like £600, £700 for a phone. Like, I can understand that, but the £1,000 mark, it's ridiculous. The fact you can go, you can buy a MacBook.
You can the phone.
Like, so what's it like? So their MacBook base price. Let's have a look.
The thing for me, right, is that the belief that I have, because the current phone market is that a phone has to last 2 years, and for me, spending upwards of £1,000 on something that's only going to last 2 years has reached a very strange point for me. Like, I don't understand that, like, that knowledge of going, oh, actually, I'm not going to have it for 24. My current phone I've had for 2.5 years. I paid 150 quid for it. I was very happy with the price I got my phone. It's very rare that personally I would go, you know what, I want to treat myself. I'm going to spend £1,500, something that's only going to last me, give or take 2 years, maybe longer if I change contract. For me, it's like if I had ridiculous. The choice, the choice is there for people to make, but hopefully people make the right choice and go, well, actually, spend maybe £500 to £800 on the phone and save the other £700 and spend it on something better.
I mean, like I said, when you think you could buy, albeit one of the older, like MacBook, you can buy like the 13-inch MacBook Pro for the same price as a iPhone. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, so again, this is how Apple have always had this pushing point on the market, saying you're paying for the quality. And from what I've seen of the new iPhone XS or the iPhone X, there is nothing remarkable about these phones. You get more refined display and the camera's changed, but for the most part, there's nothing innovative, and that's what people loved about Apple. Was their innovation.
The only thing that's really annoyed me from the iPhone X is the notch, the fact that they made that a thing.
The notch.
Yeah, like the little notch on top of their phone, like these phones. Like, why? there are other companies out there that are doing some interesting ways to kind of avoid having a little notch at the top, the little indentation where the camera and the speaker is. I'm just like, why does this even exist? Plus, Apple are doing some very dodgy little marketing on their websites and everywhere to try and avoid. So if you look, like, I've got the site up now, Alex can see my screen. It's you think that's just one solid screen there. Like, they make it look like it's a full screen, but look, it's got a bloody notch in it. Like, that is not a screen. It's the same with the iPhone X, and like they purposely using these like pictures of the phone, like of a planet, and they've got the black part. Like, they are purposely like trying to hide the fact that their phones have this big notch in the top of them. But other companies have taken suit and also done it. I mean, if you actually look at some of the cheaper Chinese Android phones out there, they're actually coming with some really ingenious ways to get it. Like, I think Xiaomi have a phone where when you open up the camera app, the camera actually is on a motor and it actually pops up from the top of the phone. There's a few of them like that. Some of them have gone where they've got the fingerprint reader actually behind the screen, so you can actually put your thumb on the screen and it will unlock the phone.
Oh, so mine's on the back of the phone.
Yeah, yes. I mean, same. So Pixels is on the back of the phone. Some of them are on the side of the phone. The new iPhones, you don't have that. It's all Face ID.
Yeah.
Good luck. If that stops working, good luck unlocking your phone. It's kind of just like they're kind of getting rid of it. And I'm like, there's no need. You kind of have a back of a phone that's pretty empty. You had the side of the phone. You could put a fingerprint scanner on it. Yeah, like Face ID is cool, but I'd rather not.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I personally haven't watched the unveiling of the new iPhone X or the iPhone XS or the iPhone XR, but again, there has been nothing. From what I've read, from what I've seen, there is nothing truly remarkable about these phones that other companies haven't already done, or there is no innovation.
I don't think
that's what they were known for.
I don't think Apple's done any level of innovation on their phone. Realistically, they've not been a game changer, other than the notch. For like definitely like since Steve Jobs was around. Yeah. That's my viewpoint on that, and I think that they do some really shoddy things. That they had a whole, I don't know how much you know about it, but the whole the iMac Pro like issue, the right to repair and just getting the iMac Pros repaired was a nightmare. They globally it was a massive problem, to the point where if you broke your own iMac Pro, you spent £5,000 on an iMac Pro, you break it, you can't get it fixed, you have to just buy a new one. That was Apple's kind of philosophy. Even though you're willing to pay for it, they were just they just didn't make it easy. Then it's just and then you've got the whole new MacBook Pro that just suffered from overheating. Because they decided to go, okay, we've got a MacBook, we like the design, okay, let's put a new processor in it that's got 6 cores. It's going to produce a lot more heat, it's going to run harder, fine, great, all good things, but we're not going to change our cooling design. So we're going to take the same cooling design from a 4-core processor, put it on a 6-core processor, and we're just going to hope it works. And they wonder why it was thermal throttling. They're not. I've lost my personal faith in Apple a long time ago. They make amazingly good-looking products, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're paying for the style.
You're paying for a fashion statement.
Yeah, and again, there'll be a lot of people who do, and kudos to them, and a lot of people who will struggle to pay, and kudos to them. But again, it's people who make these decisions, it's completely up to them, but at the same time, I do think people, hopefully with the new prices that have come out for these phones, the iPhone 10s, I hope people start realizing that there are other alternative options that are just as good. Maybe not as stylish, but still just as good.
Yeah.
And again, if you're going to use something for 2 years, you want something that you'll like. But again, there's also the practicality use. Again, if I gave two people, like if I had 2 phones, one was an iPhone 10 and another one was maybe the Samsung S9, and I gave people the option to choose between the two with no price point, I know everyone will go for the iPhone 10. Personally, I would too. But knowing the price point and saying this is what you're paying, then fair enough.
The thing for me, I'd just be like, iPhone or a Samsung phone. Personally, I'll be, I don't want either. Give me something that's a bit more vanilla.
Which one's not going to sell fast on the market, But again, it's realistically everyone's choice. But again, I think with especially the highest price point being almost up to £1,500. Hopefully people will realise that. But then again, we can't really talk because we spend upwards of that on video games consoles and games and the rest of it.
Yeah, but at least, I've still got my PlayStation 2 from 18 years ago. I've still got a NES that's older than me. Do you get what I mean? Like these things, and they still get played. And around the world they still get played and still used. An iPhone is not going to last 10-20 years.
Be interesting to see if they do.
Yeah.
How many people are still rocking iPods?
I mean, some people, yeah. I mean, if you really push to it, if you're willing to open up the phone and do some self repairs yourself, you can make a phone last longer. Like an iPhone, like the iPhone 6, 8, so forth. If you replace the battery in them, they'll last a while. I mean, like I said, they'll run as a phone. They'll run for quite a while. Since the 6, they've kind of been decent phones. But you could push 4 years out of them, but you need to touch the battery. You need to replace it. But like I said, most people aren't going to do that, and most of these phones are just going to go back to China, and just be used in their own spares and repairs market, because there's a ridiculous market out there, but you don't get that over here.
I mean, again, it'll be interesting to see what the sales are like within the next few months, especially after Christmas, and then after the 2-year period to see. Because again, to me, I think in 2 years' time, these phones will be selling off faster than what they will be now. Because I think, again, Apple have got this they'll have the peak in the market because it's the brand new innovation for them, and then 2 years down the line when everyone's changing contracts, and can afford to get it because it's slightly cheaper, that's when it will going to hike up in its price value.
Yeah.
Again, like I can see the iPhone 8 now selling like crazy again, purely because they've got to the iPhone 10 stage.
Yeah, but I mean, what does surprise me is the fact they're still selling iPhone 7s on their website. They're still selling iPhone 8s. It kind of says like, yeah, we're not going to be making cheap phones anymore. So if you want an iPhone that's cheap, yeah, you can buy the stuff that's old.
Yeah, but again, that's always been part of the market.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, again, not really. Like, if you actually look at what they used to do a few years ago, once their new phone came to market, you can't pick up the old device. They like when it was around like the 4, 5, etc. When they released a new phone, they would sell the old one for a little bit, but then they'd give up. Like the people that picked up the things like the 5C, a cheap iPhone, you can't do that anymore. Like I said, a cheap iPhone now is you go buy an iPhone 7. An iPhone 7
is it the last one with a headphone jack?
Yes, yeah. I believe the 7 has. No, I don't think the 8 has a headphone jack. The iPhone 7, I don't think it does actually. I don't think it does have a headphone jack. Hence why it came with Lightning connector headphones.
So.
I know the Lightning connector is another whole. It's its own problem with itself. I just jump onto USB-C. Like.
No, USB-C is.
Like, what? Do you not like USB-C?
I don't like it purely because it hasn't fully taken off the market yet.
You say that like more and more stuff is getting USB-C there. I mean, look, the Switch is USB-C. My phone charges USB-C. This charges USB-C. It's the new standard that everything's going to use. They're even rumored that the new iPad Pro is going to have USB-C. The Macs have USB-C. Like all our other devices have USB-C, but yet they release a phone still no USB-C. But I think, like I said, USB-C is going to take over that market. The only problem with it is it's a standard for the type of connector, but not for the actual what the cable can do, which is the downside to it. Not all USB-C is equal.
Like most things in life.
Yeah. But I just mean that in the sense of one USB-C cable. You could have 3 cables, one that will charge, one that will do display, and one that will do data transfer. But they won't do each other's job. They'll only do those 3 individual things. Or you can, or you can get one that can do all 3.
The Elgato, it's USB-C. So.
Yeah, everything's using USB-C.
Yeah, it's taking off. I mean, again, I'm just... I think for me, it's these transition points that annoy me the most. Because again, I've got half my stuff that's USB-C, and then the other stuff that's I've got some stuff that's USB-A, which is really weird.
Yeah.
And a lot of B, and a lot, I guess I'm gonna have to slowly integrate to C. But it's like the whole integration of 2 to 3 point USB cables and stuff like that. Just there was no need. Besides the occasional port, and now it seems to be taken off completely. So again, these transitional periods are really annoying. Well, it's the same as DVD to Blu-ray. Blu-ray is just online content.
I know Blu-ray still has its place.
I think
especially for the 4K market, because you're not going to get the same quality. 4K HDR on a Blu-ray is by far nowhere near comparable to 4K HDR stream.
It's compression.
Yeah, it's just so heavily compressed. You think a 4K Blu-ray HDR film is like over 100 gig easily. You're not going to stream that. Like, your bandwidth's not good enough for that. You're going to have some insane bandwidth.
I'm going to download this 100 gig movie for tonight. You're never going to get that.
No.
Maybe in the near future.
But then, like I said, 4K's by the time you have that bandwidth, like, easily accessible around the world, 4K's dead. You'll have 8K. Yeah, it'll be 8K. The next replacement for HDR, it'll be whatever that is. And that's what's going to be on the physical medium. But
I mean, it'll be interesting to see, considering most cinemas are between 4 to 16.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see at what point do cinemas realise that they have no relevancy in the market anymore, besides being where you can watch the latest movie, and even that will be a hard thing to sell.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I still enjoy going to the cinema.
Yeah, me too. I've got my cinema club card. I go there once every week. Well, I try to go at least once a week. So.
Yeah, I haven't been in a while, but I was a Cineworld Unlimited card holder for quite some years, but I've stopped that for the moment. I'll pick it back up at some point, but.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's what I've picked up now was the Cineworld one, because there's one. Point of reference, I work near Westfield, so there was one in Westfield that I go to. So yeah. But anyway, I think with those bombshells about iPhone and complaining about Apple and Nintendo for basically an hour, I think we'll wrap up there. So thank you very much for the 2 people who have been watching our stuff. Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah. Those 2 people aren't just us, by the way.
Yeah. So there's 4 views on almost every video. 2 of them are us, and then the other 2 are other people. So thank you for listening to 2 grumpy teenagers, or teenagers, God, 2 grumpy old men complain.
We're not teenagers anymore.
No, we started as teenagers, now we're grumpy old men.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for watching and listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right, enjoy, guys. Catch you later.